Hello, we are going to do a shoulder cast today. In preparation, you will want to lay out cardboard as plaster of Paris can be very messy. Lay out all your supplies and fill your 2 buckets of water, one hot, one room temp. Measure from the elbow to the top of the shoulder, that is measurement A on the diagram. Roll out the plaster of Paris bandage to that measurement and then add 2 more inches. Then roll back onto itself, making a double layer, a double stack layer, and then roll back again, making a triple stack layer, and then keep going until you are 7 layers thick. Repeat the process a second time so you have made 2 large rectangular plaster bandages. Now, measurement B on the diagram is measuring the circumference of the elbow. You are going to do this right above the elbow. You're going to add 4 inches to that number and fold out a piece of plaster of Paris. And then you're going to fold it back onto itself. So it's 2 layers thick, and then another layer and another layer. So it will be 4 layers thick. Now you're going to take that 4-layer thick bandage and you're going to fold it in half lengthwise, making a long bandage, 8 layers thick. Do not pre-open the fiberglass soft cast roll, as air will start to activate it and it will not work when it's time. You will need at least 3 people to do this casting. You will want one person to be your second set of hands, holding up the cut strip, holding up the nylon, just whatever is needed. And you're going to need one person that's going to help keep the animal calm, relaxed, giving treats, giving loves, that kind of thing. And sedation may be necessary for a calming aid like CBD oil or something to that effect. And your veterinarian can help you with that. Now let's begin. First step, you're going to wrap the large cotton roll wrap around the torso of the animal a couple of times to anchor it down. Then you will work your way up the body, just like the video shows. And then you're going to wrap it around the chest, around the leg, and then you're going to bring it back up along the body. So the goal of this is to completely cover up any fur or skin that's exposed to protect it from the plaster of Paris. So you can see how she is rolling this on just to protect that. We don't want it super thick because we don't want it to change the cast very much. But here, then we'll cut it here and we'll slap a piece of masking tape on it just to hold it in place. Now we will add the nylon stockinette onto the stump or the leg, and we will pull it up past the cotton bandage. So we are overlapping that area, and you may apply tape as needed. Check to make sure no fur is exposed. And now we're going to begin. Dip large rectangle of plaster of Paris in hot water and then strip the water off. Don't squeeze, strip the water off. Here we are laying it on the back side of the armpit, up the chest, and making sure that there's at least 1 inch that goes down onto that leg. Then we're going to take the second strip the water off after it's been dipped, and we're going to lay it on the front side of that elbow. And we're going to overlap the 2 pieces, creating 1 piece once it's dried. So we're going to overlap that and go down the leg about 1 inch, as we discussed with the other one that went behind. So now when that dries, it will be 1 piece. Now we're going to add a piece of small parchment paper here. We are creating an escape hatch basically for this plaster of Paris, to one small part where we can take it apart and get her out of this. So we're going to take the little rectangle that we made, the 8-ply one, and we're going to wrap it around that leg, and we're going to pull it around that armpit area. And we are going to make sure that on the front side it is touching that and overlapping that parchment paper, and then on the front side it will be touching the other piece of Paris of plaster. So now the whole piece will be 1 big piece with a small area to allow it to be pulled apart later. Here we are dipping the soft casting tape in lukewarm water. We are squeezing it several times under the water, and then we are adding a cut strip to the leg, the side of the leg. Now we begin wrapping right above the stump or paw area, and a couple of times around to anchor that down. Now we will work our way back up the leg, get on top of that elbow, and then we'll begin to work back down the leg to capture the stump. This video will show you how to kind of figure eight the casting tape so that we can capture that stump. Now this is basically, we're going to kind of wrap it up and over and then bring it back down and wrap it again. Here you see, so sort of like a figure eight design to capture the end of that leg, paw, or stump. And then she's going to want to have this about four layers thick all around the casting tape. Now there is going to be overlapping at the elbow, overlapping onto the plaster of Paris, because at some point we want those two things to marry together to create one solid mold. There may be some area underneath the armpit that is not fully covered, and that's okay. We don't need that area covered. Right now we are focused on the front side of this cast. You are going to pull that leg into a natural standing position while it's hardening and allow it to completely dry. The plaster of Paris will take about 5 or 6 minutes to completely dry. This casting material will take probably about 4 or 5 minutes to dry. And then once it's dry, you're going to remove that parchment paper. You are going to draw with a Sharpie where that plaster of Paris is going to meet up so we can staple it together later. And then we're going to draw right there on the front side where they marry also, just in case it comes apart in shipping and transport. Now we're going to draw a line down the cut strip just as a guide for using our hook knife, and then some cross hatches. This also is showing where that cast will meet up with the plaster of Paris also. So that's all of your landmarks. So we're just marking it all with a Sharpie. Now we're going to take our hook knife and we are going to run it down the cut strip, and we are going to remove the leg cast first. You might need scissors to get rid of that stocking, you might not. And now that we removed that piece of parchment paper, you can see here that there's like a little escape hatch, so we can take that apart. And now she has it marked so we can staple where it goes together. And this is it all together, stapled back together again in one piece. Thank you.